everyone. Welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot. Some reason I can't get my mouth working right. But anyway, first of all, happy Easter. So this reading will be starting with Easter Sunday, April 17th, and we'll go through Saturday, April 23rd. So sending you lots of love as always. Let me drop the camera down and we'll get this going. Okay, so this week I'm using the Lightseers Tarot by Chris-Anne. I think Chris-Anne Donnelly, I think is her last name. And the cards are all cleared and they're all upright. I just have to allow for reversals. Okay. All right. So Easter Sunday through Saturday the 23rd. How can we best use the opportunities of the week? And what may we be dealing with? Okay. All right, so Sunday. Monday. Tuesday. Wednesday. Thursday. Boy, do we have a lot of reversals this week. Friday. Saturday. Okay, my goodness. Wow. Wow. Okay. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. Okay, so hold on. Let me get things. Oh, I've got plenty of room at the top there. Okay. Let me just get things framed up here. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Okay, so starting off with Sunday here, with the Three of Cups reversed, this is usually my card for being careful not to party too hard, lest we get out of balance with Justice reversed, right? Because the Three of Cups reversed can be, well, in this deck you can't see cups there, but you know, it's usually celebrations. But, you know, cups reverse can be like an overflowing amount of emotions, but it's headed down towards the ground, towards, you know, into the body. It's definitely for things like maybe a get-together that doesn't work out as well as you'd like. I really feel like it's just being careful about partying too much. Sometimes it can be about creativity that is a little stagnant or stifled. And if that's the case, the reason why with the Justice reversed would be because you're out of balance. We have to be in balance in order for our creativity to come through. It's like little kids. Kids are super, super creative, and just think, what are they like when they're like hangry? you know, are they angry because they're really hungry? Do they need a nap? It's always about those basic bottom line real needs of our bodies. So if our bodies are out of balance, which can be the case with the Justice card reversed, then our creativity is not going to come through the way we want. So be careful with Sunday. But if it's something that doesn't have anything to do with overdoing or partying, or maybe it's feeling left out, because sometimes this card reverse can be like three's a crowd, and that would be because two people are kind of cliquey, If that's the case and you're feeling like that's unjust, then yeah, that's not those two people are not the right friends for you. You need to move on and find someone that's more loving and accepting and open, and isn't, cliquey and limited in their love. Let's see, what else sometimes the injustice is just basically, or justice reverse is just basically injustice, justice not coming through. It's something unfair, right? Somebody who lies, maybe somebody's lying about their drinking condition or drinking issues. Sometimes on a health level, this can be like a sugar imbalance, right? And because the Justice card is, it rules the lower back, and kidneys and ovaries and things of pairs, it can have to do with if it's a drinking problem, it definitely would put a person, would be a kidney problem later, because you have to clear all that out, right? You have to drink tons of water and clear it out. And alcohol can be, now, I'm talking about a little glass of wine here or there. I'm talking about like the hard stuff. It wreaks havoc on a person's system. I've never understood how people can drink the hard stuff. It literally burns the esophagus as it's going down, but then it numbs everything. And then, if you keep drinking, it's like, I've never been able to drink like that. It's very, very hard on the whole stomach, all of that. And then, of course, everything filters through the liver and the kidneys. So it causes dehydration. And that can be some of the issue here. So, if you're working through alcohol addiction, I send you so much love, and to just know that it's usually the need for real connection with other people and the connection that we have deep inside. But then after a while, usually a person's body won't allow the imbalance to keep going. And that's when real healing can begin. So you can always pray for your body to teach you how to take better care of yourself. You'll find that you're more sensitive, but your body will thank you for it, and your creativity will come through. Other people have told me that they've always felt that alcoholism or drug addiction is really just an issue with your creativity. If that's the case, it is right here. Although, justice is not necessarily the Justice card isn't necessarily an addiction card, but it is ruled by Libra, and the sign of Libra can definitely have those issues, right? So, you have to be careful. So if it is a day of celebration, there's going to be some drinking, and you're going to go for it. Just drink tons and tons and tons of water, and take a bunch of digestive enzymes later on, maybe, to help. I don't know. You're going to have to figure out what works for you. Let's see, what else could this be? Could be somebody being dishonest and not wanting to take self-responsibility or accountability. if that's the case, those are the friends to stay away from. Because, Three of Cups reversed can be cheaters on any level. It's just not fair, but that's the way it is. It's the card for when people are having an affair. Both of these cards together, actually. So, and then on the lowest level, because, the Three of Cups, when it's straight up, it's my card for abundance. I think a lot of readers read it that way. So when it comes through reversed, it could be a belief in lack. And you cannot create abundance from a state of lack, right? That's why our creativity is stifled when we're in lack. That's why, if we're going through health issues, it's hard to feel good enough to be creative. It's hard to do your job. It's hard. It makes everything hard. So protecting our health is one of the most important aspects of self-care that we can have. And then if it's that belief in lack, just keep looking around your life and look inside yourself and be very, very grateful for everything that you have. No one's perfect, but to be very grateful for everything that you have is that turns it around. It just completely turns it around. Gratitude turns around lack. So that's Sunday. That could be any day, right? Monday, with the Page of Cups straight up, I think creativity is restored, or it's coming through. And this is, this card always says to me, like, well, we can't make pigs fly unless you're a graphic artist. And I do have a dear friend on Facebook, Claudia Gambaro. Hold on, let me grab her book real quick. She can make pigs fly. She's got this great book called On the Wings of a Pig. She goes by Claudia Noel. There we go. And the illustrations, Nadia Brown, I think she's a Ukrainian artist. And this book is just, it's beautiful. There's, look at that. She made pigs fly. Look at that. I love it. It's one of my favorite books. So, creativity, opening up to new things, good news about creative projects with the Page of Cups. What else can this be with the Page of Cups? It's usually just messages and things that make your heart sing. It could be a younger person that's very creative and very helpful. But because it's hanging over the Ten of Swords reversed, something's not over. Something's not complete yet. Something's not done. Some idea that maybe was troubling is still there. So you're going to have to tap into your heart. Just get into your heart. It's always about being in your heart space to open up your creativity and your playfulness. Like I was saying with kids, it's like they have to be. Kids are so creative, but they have to be, their bodies and little souls and beings, all of that. Well, I shouldn't say little, they're huge. They have to be taken care of for their creativity to come through. And we are all just a bunch of little kids inside, I think. I am anyway. But this can be with the Ten of Swords reversed. Sometimes it can be about recovering your creativity. So this all does kind of flow together, doesn't it? All right. Yeah. This card could talk about an ending that just is inevitable. If we continue on this other path of either believing too much in lack or being with people who rob your life force, energy vampires and cheaters and liars, or if there's any addiction in your life that has you in a state of imbalance, it's going to be unsustainable in order to move forward and create what you want. So to get out of that vicious circle will open up your creativity, and that's the recovery there that needs to come through. And I mean, with this Jupiter Pisces conjunction and a Jupiter Neptune and Pisces conjunction, we're all maybe struggling with addiction on some level, because with Pisces we want the bliss, and the North Node is in Taurus, and that's all about bliss and pleasures, creature comforts, and with all of that, it becomes kind of like a power management issue in the body to stay balanced. Like, we think if we have more, then we'll keep the pleasure going, but then your body has to process everything. So whether it's food or, drinking certain things, drinking or eating, just whatever we take in, just remember it all has to filter through the liver, and if it's too much, it'll cause trouble in our bodies. So Tuesday comes along, and the Queen of Cups reversed has us upside down in our emotional body on some level, and we're having to work with that. But that's actually the good place to be, is to get inside of any feelings. Don't stuff down any emotional reactions from the past. Just know that they're coming through to heal. When she comes through reverse, this can help us see what what our dependencies are. Where we feel insecure, where our codependencies are. And until we can get in touch with that, we can't rise above it. And I love that this card is actually on the bottom, because it's like shining the light up to say this is what to deal with. And no one's in this alone. It's a very human thing to judge ourselves harshly and think that that we're the only one going through this. Well, if that's the case, then why is like Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous and Sex Addictions Anonymous, all these different things that humans go through, why are they so successful, and why are those groups so large? If you're the only one that does it, why are there all of these groups? It's because every human being struggles with addiction. Again, it's like, I always feel it's like trying to get back to the positive pleasure of being a spirit. But here we are in human form, and this earthly realm can be so damn disappointing, right? But don't take it personally. It's not who you truly are. Who you truly are is very blissed out and loving and kind and gentle and compassionate. And just remember that. And be gentle with yourself as you work through whatever it is. And be willing to be seen. Be willing to allow your feelings to be seen. Be willing to allow your... unless it's a situation like this over here, I would say don't waste your time. If the people are invasive with you, if people are not caring for you, if you're trying to set a boundary and they're not listening to you and they repeatedly violate your boundaries, or talk behind your back, or are just not a real friend or a real loved one, real lover, even if it's a family member. Boy, nobody can teach you your lessons like a family member, I'll tell you that. It's like a lot of people say families always stick together. Well, not always. Some families are abusive, and if you won't cut your ties with them, then who would you do it with, right? I mean, it's just going to keep coming until you set your boundaries. So I think this is about seeing that whatever emotional material, from the past that we're dealing with is a good thing. It's good to see it and allow yourself to be seen for who you truly are, and don't judge yourself as long as you're not hurting anyone, right? It's there's never a need to do that, but also to not hurt yourself and not stuff down your emotional, material that's coming up, because when she's upright and the feelings are flowing freely, she's the queen of emotional intelligence. She honors all that's sacred. And it's because she doesn't mind feeling, like uncomfortable feelings are just kind of like a part of life. And it's okay to feel awkward. It's okay to feel whatever. And you just flow with it and go, okay, And it passes. Pure feelings flow freely, and they connect you to your spirit. But emotional reactions from the past, if they're not processed through, they keep you from being seen. They keep you from having your real your real needs met, because our real needs are to connect. There's a real need for connection. There's a real need to be seen and heard and understood. And if those real needs are met, that turns into our creative self-expression. So then with Wednesday, the guidance here is to never give up. With the star reversed, it's about never give up. Never give up on what you're wishing for, what you're working on. Do your due diligence to keep digging to find your buried treasure. Never give up even when you don't get what you want. Okay? I don't know what else to say about these cards reversed. Thursday comes along with the Nine of Pentacles. This is about being careful about how we spend our money. Be careful about getting into debt. And have the self-confidence to find all your needs within, with the, of course, having your connection to yourself, to your spirit, is the key to your self-confidence, but it's also the key that helps you to reach out to others when you need to. And this is a lot of, with the Queen of Wands, it's about a warm, loving spirit. Sometimes this can be, don't go into debt just to be seen a certain way. That's another, key with all of this here, is that you can always untangle a vicious circle by asking yourself, you're looking for a false belief here, right? So the question is always, who do I think I need to be in order to be loved and or approved of? And then write that out. And know that that's your solution that won't ever work, right? It's a solution coming from that painful childhood experience where we did everything we could. When you can't get a parent's love, then you try to get their approval in a different way. Like maybe if you're really smart, then they'll love you. Maybe if you're really gifted, or maybe if you really work on your talents as an athlete, football star, something like that, then they'll love you. Well, but you know what? What if they don't know how to love? It's like, asking somebody for $100 and they only have $20 to give you. And maybe that was the basis of your entire childhood. That doesn't mean that you're not lovable and that you're not worthy. That just means that you had a parent who wasn't able to be there for you for whatever reason of their own. And who knows what their parents were like for them. So when you don't have what you want, when the wishes are left unfulfilled, don't take it personally. Keep focusing on your inner light, and be willing to be the star for yourself. Be your own guiding star, and never, ever, ever give up. Sometimes this card comes through, often like the Nine of Swords, like the dark night of the soul, especially if you have like those two cards together. It can be a place where you're deluding and deceiving yourself about who you think you need to be in order to, have that connection. And we all want that connection with the universe, right? But the universe is within, right? It's within every single cell in your body. So yeah. Okay, then Thursday, I've talked about that. Okay, Friday, yeah, just be careful about getting into debt. With the Nine of Pentacles reversed, wait, hold on. There's another little piece here. When this card comes to reversed, it can be that there's a need to connect back to nature in order to feel your life force flow more freely and to feel your self-confidence. So it could be, even if you can't go out for a walk, to sit outside and get some sun on your back, even if you have to like cover up with a big hat like I do, just to get the sunlight, or hang out, connect with the birdies. Birdies are so awesome. Birdies are the best. And then things will be restored. Okay, so then with the Queen of Swords reversed, she's my card for bitchiness, cold-heartedness, feeling stuck when you don't get what you want, and trying to control others through, usually it's withdrawal, There's that possibility. She hasn't yet found her independence, so I don't know if this might be a person in your life, but the Queen of Swords is a really important card when it comes to reverse, to be careful about either being cruel with yourself or letting somebody else be cold-hearted with you or ruthless and bitter, because they didn't get what they wanted. Now, straight up, she's the epitome of clarity, and she knows how to navigate any rough waters. She's been through the hardness of life and transformation. Now, in this deck, we don't have the butterflies, but in the traditional Rider-Waite, we have a butterfly crown, and in other decks, there's butterflies around her that show her emotional transformation, which is why she has the clarity and the high level of reasoning abilities. But, because she came through reversed, I'm feeling like with these two, just know that you'll never have that equality or that reciprocity with a person who's cold-hearted. So if there's someone or some cold-heartedness with you, or coming through for this day in at any time in any way, shape, or form, the guidance with that would always be to go back to your heart and love yourself through it. No matter what, always love yourself through it. Because the Six of Pentacles can be somebody stingy, and they're being, doesn't have to be a woman. It can be that they're stingy with their heart as well as, actual physical support. So there's a lot this week about relationships, isn't there? There really is. And then Saturday we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and this is a day, this is a card which I feel like it could have to do with exhaustion, because you're not even, when the Knight of Pentacles is straight up, it's like one foot in front of the other, and you're moving slowly, but you're still plodding along. When it comes through reversed, it's not happening. It's maybe feeling stuck, maybe even someone who's very stubborn. Maybe someone needs to, change some bad habits, and they're kind of stuck in a rut, and maybe you're dealing with that person. Or maybe they're just lazy. But to me, laziness is really just that fear there's fear. There's basically fear, and that's why they're not moving. And movement will release fears. Movement will get you in touch with your fears. And what might the fear be about? Well, with the Five of Cups reversed, I think there's a fear of grieving. a fear of letting go, a fear of if I dive into those feelings, I might die. People who are afraid to feel all their feelings get stuck. They really do. And sometimes we don't know what we're feeling, and we need to be gentle with ourselves and help us understand what our feelings are. Sometimes it's confusing, very confusing going into it, and that's because it relates to a childhood experience where we didn't have our real needs met, and repeatedly, and to the point that we had to numb out in order to survive, and that can be really confusing for a child, right? I mean, you're dependent, you're completely dependent on your parents or some caretakers, or you're not going to live. So that's too hard for a child's psyche to process and be with on a daily basis. So what we do is we numb off for protection. And then as adults, we're having to go through those confusing, numbed feelings. We're having to go through the numbness and find the real feelings, and it's confusing. And what you connect with is you're connecting back with the confusing feelings you had when you were a child. That's what this is about. That's what all of this is about. That's what any inner issue is about. We go back to those emotions that we couldn't access when we were little because maybe either they didn't let us, like imagine being a little girl who's not allowed to be angry, or imagine being a little boy who's not allowed to cry. That is emotional repression, and that's what parents have done for eons. It's not the case nowadays, but for us adults, our age, it just was. And that's part of the process of thawing out the emotional body, is to find all those confusing places where we weren't allowed to feel whatever we were truly feeling. We weren't allowed to be in our real feelings, right? And I'm being reminded of that Jim Carrey quote from that series Kidding, when he said, "Every pain needs a name." There's so much about childhood healing in that series. And it's in that same episode where there's the kintsugi art, the kintsugi bowl, kintsugi? Yeah, kintsugi, I think is the way you say it. The Japanese bowls that they purposely break a bowl and then glue it back together with gold in between, so when it's all done, there's these cracks that are gold leaf, and that's because they have that belief that, and it's a definite, real, true, spiritual belief I love. And in the series, he said something about Japanese believe that they do that art, so it reminds them that their scars don't mean, like in the cracks, that it doesn't mean that they're broken, because the bowl's not broken anymore, it's put back together, but it's proof that we're healed. So we have to go through the scar tissue, the crusty soul substance that doesn't, this card here with the 9 of Cups straight up, it reminds me of a spirit that's free, right? And you found your buried treasure within. And from there, your wishes will be fulfilled a lot of the time, and even when they're not, you'll be okay. It's no big deal. But when things are not processed through, with the 5 of Cups reversed, feelings have not been processed through, grief has not been processed through, you're still upside down in that department. And the way to, to get through it is to feel. And when we feel, then movement comes through again. So, okay, so let me rather than leave you hanging with all these, well, I don't know that you're hanging, but with all these reversals, let's tune in. Let me use this deck here. Hold on. Oops, one of the cards is still, there we go. This is The Awakened Soul by Ethany, if you like this deck. It's got the lame, it's got the gilded edges, or silver lame, I don't know, whatever you call it. That's fabric, isn't it? Yeah, it's just gilded, silver gilded. And I love the bees. Let's see, yeah, they're upright. Okay, hold on, let me move this deck. I need to make some room here. Okay. These cards are big, but I'm going to draw 5 cards. These chopsticks. 5 cards to see what else would help us. What can we focus in on to help us through the week? It looks to me like there's a lot of emotional healing and healing of any type of addictions. And it might even just be like the addiction of being busy, so that we don't have time to process our feelings. You know, keeping our brains busy. So we have desire, the labyrinth, silence. Yeah, we need silence to heal, don't we? Shapeshifter. And shadow. Ooh, well, these go really well together, don't they? Okay, so here's our theme. And, don't you just love this? The keys, right? The keys to get inside and shape-shift our shadows rather than spin in in a circle where you bump up against things, is to meditate, is to be silent, is to get, if we don't stop and slow down and decide to do our healing work, we don't get anywhere. We stay stuck spinning, and we bump up against these walls that we can't get past, because we always have to keep going inside. We have to give ourselves that time. Now, if you're wanting a relationship, or you're wanting to feel more connected inside, the desire that's real, right? But maybe the desire's going in the wrong direction, and the key to keep to stop bumping into those walls is to go inside. Become your own best love partner if you're looking for a relationship. And if you're having trouble within a relationship, you're going to need to go inside and get real with yourself, clear out the healing or clear out the wounding that allows for the healing, so that you have love relationships that are actually healthy mirrors for you. And doing that inner work is what shifts the shadows, right? We have to get inside and look for the shadows. And then I always see the white wolf as being like the pathfinder. So that's always our path, is to look for the shadows, do the healing work, and as we do the healing work, we open up to more and more joy. And then joy and positivity become just a way of life, and then negative, vicious circles and drama are like, what? We don't do that. What? It's ridiculous, right? These alternate realities that people get caught up in. It's like, no, go for the center. Be in your meditative, silent self, and know what it is that you really deserve in relationship. But you have to give it to yourself first, and you can't give it to yourself until you do your own shadow work. And your own shadow work will always be tied to your upbringing. So you have to do your inner child work. Yeah, okay. Well, that's all I have, you guys. That's my story again. I'm sticking to it. Okay, sending you big hugs. Lots of love as always. Bye.